Please be seated. Good morning. I'm so pleased to welcome our special guest, Dr. Mona Hanna Atisha, our inspirational faculty and staff of the School of Social Work, and most importantly, accomplished MSW graduates, family, and friends, to the summer 2022 University of Michigan School of Social Work's commencement exercises. My name is Beth Angel, Dean of the School of Social Work. Before we begin today's ceremony, I would like to introduce Clinical Assistant Professor Abigail Eiler to share our important land acknowledgement.
Minogajap, good morning. Nigonga Bakwain Dishnaka, Shishanwa Kiundao, Makwa Undonam, Hamandiana and Donjiba, Canton, Michigan Undao. The School of Social Work, located in the Huron River watershed, on land stewarded by the Nishwe, Ishkadewin, and Anishinaabe, the three Fires people who are the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. As we work, live, and learn on these territories, we must keep in mind the ongoing effects of colonization, the community struggle for self-determination, colonial state violence, and the recognition of Indigenous sovereignty. Through scholarship and pedagogy, we work to create a future in which the past is thoroughly understood and the present aims to enhance social justice while enacting care, compassion for others.
This is such a celebratory day. I am particularly honored to preside over my very first commencement ceremony as the new dean of this outstanding school. The excellence of our school, thank you. The excellence of our school is rooted in the dedicated faculty, devoted staff, and talented and committed student body. I am so thrilled to be here in person with you, with our graduates, and with your families, friends, and special guests. MSW graduates, you are an impressive class. 127 of you are graduating today with your Master of Social Work degree. Three of you are dual degree students, combining the MSW with other disciplines, including public policy, sociology, and psychology. You include graduates with an undergraduate social work degree and with a wide variety of degrees from many fine public and private universities and colleges, including universities in Michigan and from universities across the U.S. and the world, including, just to name a few, California, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Texas, China, and Argentina. Graduates, you represent the diverse areas of study within the school. 70 of you graduate as interpersonal practice majors, 8 as community organizers, 14 as children and families specialists, 4 with a focus in management and leadership, 9 as global social workers, 7 as older adults and families specialists, 10 with a focus in policy and political social work, and 5 as program evaluation and applied research specialists. Collectively, you have provided approximately 90,000 hours of field internship service, you provided vital and innovative services to Michigan communities and beyond. Here are just a few examples of your contributions to the betterment of society during a global pandemic, when social work services have been needed more than ever. Our graduates worked to develop and implement gender-affirming groups for youth across the state of Michigan following traumatic legislation and school shootings. Our graduates facilitated monthly community healing groups in a community with a shortage of health professionals. Our graduates developed and implemented curricula for summer youth training programs in Detroit to help youth gain employment and life skills. Our graduates wrote and received grants for community-based programming in Ypsilanti that gives voice to survivors of all forms of violence, including police brutality. Our graduates participated in supporting behavioral health professionals to create plans to dismantle oppression within their practice. And our graduates provided organizational development, grant writing, fundraising, and donor relations in Ghana to support the launch of a Pan-African Heritage Museum. So as you can see, class of 2022, you reached out, you raised hope, you changed society. Graduates, you come from every walk of life and from diverse locations and backgrounds. You came together for a common purpose, to be a social worker who will transform lives and society, making our world a better place. Please join me one more time in recognizing the contributions and accomplishments of our graduates. I also want to acknowledge that this has been a traumatic period in history, and each of us has experienced grief and loss in a profound and personal way. Let us take a brief moment of silence to remember those who have passed away, but are here with us in spirit, whether a former teacher, a cherished friend, or a beloved family member. At this time, I would like to acknowledge and thank our superb faculty for your commitment to our exceptional students. I know the faculty joins me in sharing our best wishes for the graduates, with the hope that the future holds great promise for each and every one of them. Would our faculty members please stand and accept our appreciation for the excellent education you have provided to today's graduates. Faculty, please be seated. And now, graduates, I would like to take a moment to personally congratulate you. These last 2 years have changed and challenged all of us in ways that we never could have predicted. The pandemic has upended our lives and profoundly impacted us each in different ways. Many of us have lost loved ones, and the ongoing disruption of our daily patterns challenged us emotionally, physically, socially, and sometimes financially. During this same time, we all continue to witness numerous forms of injustice in our society and around the world. For example, ongoing violence against Black and brown people continues to expose just how deeply racism is embedded in our nation and society. And the recent spate of legislative and judicial actions that marginalize segments of the population, most particularly women and members of the LGBTQ community, represent an attack on the fundamental rights of all of us. As social workers, our passions and skills are needed now more than ever. We play a crucial role in supporting individuals, families, and communities and finding solutions for a better tomorrow. Throughout all these challenges, the MSW class of 2022 has both responded and adapted. You've completed your classes under very unique circumstances, and your field work required new levels of adaptability, ingenuity, and resolve. At the same time, you answered your calling as social workers by stepping up to the forefront, speaking out, and contributing to a better society. We are so proud of your dedication, your achievements, and your resiliency, and we're excited to be able to celebrate together. Today, you join the ranks of over 18,000 Michigan MSW alumni. As Dean of this esteemed School of Social Work, I'm honored to be the first to welcome you to our alumni community. We look forward to seeing how your enthusiasm, dedication, and accomplishments shape our legacy. Graduates, you have earned the respect, admiration, and gratitude from both the Michigan social work community and the University of Michigan. You have shown dedication, tenacity, and hard work in earning your MSW under historic and unexpected conditions, and we are so proud of you. I'm now delighted to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Mona Hanna-Attisha. Dr. Hanna-Attisha is the founder and director of the Michigan State University and Hurley Children's Hospital Pediatric Public Health Initiative, an innovative and model public health program in Flint, Michigan. A pediatrician, scientist, activist, and author, Dr. Hanna-Attisha has testified 4 times before the U.S. Congress and was awarded the Freedom of Expression Courage Award by PEN America. She was named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world and recognized as one of USA Today's Women of the Century for her role in uncovering the Flint water crisis and leading recovery efforts, and most recently received the 2020 CDC Foundation's Freeze Prize for improving health. A frequent contributor to national media outlets, including the New York Times and Washington Post, Dr. Hanna-Attisha has appeared on CNN, MSNBC, BBC, and countless other outlets championing the cause of children in Flint and beyond. She is the founding donor of the Flint Child Health and Development Fund. With concentrations in environmental health and health policy, Dr. Hanna-Attisha received her bachelor's degree and Master of Public Health degree from the University of Michigan. She completed her medical degree from Michigan State University College of Human Medicine and her residency at Children's Hospital of Michigan in Detroit, where she was the chief resident. She is currently a Charles Stewart Mott Endowed Professor of Public Health and an Associate Professor of Pediatrics and Human Development at Michigan State University College of Human Medicine. Dr. Hanna-Attisha is the author of the widely acclaimed and best-selling book, What the Eyes Don't See, a story of crisis, resistance, and hope in an American city. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Mona Hanna-Attisha.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean Angel, for that kind and long introduction. It is such an honor to be here with all of you. I'm going to try to talk to the graduates as much as possible. It is especially exciting to be here at my alma mater. I've had 2 commencements myself in this same auditorium, and it's wonderful to be back. Go Blue! Grads, congratulations, you absolutely did it. And I can feel what you're feeling. Like I said, I have sat where you have sat, excited and anxious and nervous and unbelievably happy. I listened to my commencement speaker as you listened to me or not listened. And I felt the pride that comes with being part of something great. And I'm sure a lot of you are thinking right now how amazing it is to be graduating from the University of Michigan School of Social Work. And it is amazing. A round of applause. It is amazing. #1 School of Social Work in the country, right? For like 10 years, a decade. That's amazing. Amazing. Just the name alone, U of M, will open doors for you. But I'll tell you something. It is U of M that is proud of you and proud of what you will do. And as much as you are wrapped in the history, traditions, and legends of this place is only as great as you are and as you will be. And as this university rises, always on the shoulders of its graduates, this world, our world, depends on the work that you will do. And just like Dean Angel said, now more than ever, Our world needs you. We have been waiting for you. I don't think I need to tell you that we are at a generation-defining moment of crisis in our nation. Threats to democracy, women's rights, equality, science, and more. And in times of crisis, the world needs leaders. We need you in the forgotten places and in the quiet places. We need you where no one is listening and where others refuse to see. Fueled by the power of this place, this engine of knowledge and innovation, you are the light that will illuminate some of our hardest and greatest challenges. And unlike any other profession, you will be at the front lines of some of the most important battlegrounds of society, fighting every day for social justice. And I realize this may sound overwhelming, but you got this. You totally got this. You have already proven that you are powerfully poised to be the most influential generation of our time. Despite the challenges of the last few years, your generation and your profession have been the leading voices for change. In each of you, there is a clarity of vision of how the world should be, not the imperfect place that it is. Like never before, you have already stood up for justice, democracy, equality, and opportunity. You have opened our eyes to the inequities that are all around us, and you have demanded we must do better. And I want you to know that I am standing here in front of you, and I am inspired and hopeful. In each of you, I see not only the will and skill to leave this world a better place, but I also see your strength, your perseverance, your ability to adapt. Like Dean Angel said, this graduation today is a testament to the fact that you can do hard things. Do not underestimate this accomplishment. If graduating from here wasn't hard enough, you are graduating during a global pandemic. That's amazing. Another round of applause. That's amazing. Lean in, shoulder first, into that strength and tenacity. Don't let today be your finish line. Let it be your beginning. Let it be what catapults you to limitless possibilities of what you can be, what you can do, and what you can achieve. You see, the journey is never done. Life is a series of stops and starts, detours, and do-overs. And I urge you to use the tools that you learned here and the tools and skills that you will continue to acquire, because learning is forever, to turn today's momentum into tomorrow's legacy. I urge you to keep your eyes open to the injustices that are all around us. And I urge you to be that one person in that one moment. Sometimes it just takes one moment to create a movement. It only takes one person to light the flame of hope. One person to wake up change. One person to go first. One person to rise and say, I will do the scary thing. I didn't know it at the time, but my training here at U of M helped prepare me to be that one person in that one moment. It was here as an undergrad and later as a public health student that my passions for service and science, research, and advocacy crystallized. It was here that I was told that I could change the world by awesome professors just like these folks. And like you, I was given the tools to do just that. My story, like your story, the stories that you have already written and the stories that you have yet to write, is a story about people and their potential. And I think most of you know my story, the Flint story by now. You know what happened in Flint. It's this unthinkable tragedy just less than an hour away from here, of people being poisoned by the most basic and necessary thing, by water. It's a story not unlike our current crisis about failing to respect science and public health and failing to protect the most vulnerable among us. In a corrosion of democracy, the state took over our predominantly poor and minority city and changed our water source to save money. What happened in Flint is probably one of the most egregious environmental and public health injustices of our time. And I had a choice to make. One day, I was a pediatrician taking care of one cute kid after another, giving out stickers and fist bumps and hugs. And the next day, I was facing the dire needs of an entire population of children. With every baby bottle, every sippy cup, every glass of water, my kids were being poisoned. Would I keep my eyes closed and go about my busy business? And I was busy. I was a pediatrician, a mom, a professor, a residency director, a wife, taking my kids to soccer games and Girl Scout meetings and all these different things, juggling so many balls in the air, just like so many of you do now and will do in the future. Or would I be that one person to open my eyes, that one person to raise my hand, that one person to question why? And there really was no choice. I could only go forward. That's what I was trained here to do. There was too much at stake because remember, it was about people and their potential. And no matter how hard and scary it seemed, I couldn't close my eyes. But making others see was a whole other thing. I ran up against people and entire systems built not to see, even when they did know. It was an indifference, a willful blindness to certain people, places, and problems. It took a combination of curiosity and data to find the truth, and the truth was maddening and heartbreaking. And as you all know, yes, lead, a poison, was increasingly in the bodies of our children. And even as I offered up that scientific proof, that data, that research, my research was met with denials and attacks. And for a quick minute, I regretted using my voice. I felt defeated and tiny and small, and I felt sick. And I thought to myself, maybe I should have just kept my eyes closed and minded my own business. It would have been easier. It would have been easier to keep my voice silent. After all, I was just one person. What could one person do? And not just one person. I was a short, I'm like barely 5 foot tall, brown immigrant woman going against some of the most powerful forces. But fortunately, the voices of doubt in my head that we all hear started to shift, and I quickly realized that this wasn't about me. Every single number in my science, in my research, was a child. It represented a kid. A kid I'd probably even seen and high-fived and hugged. And I knew their stories. I knew their dreams. As a pediatrician, it's kind of my business to protect the dreams of our kids. I still see patients. I was in clinic last week, and one of my favorite questions I ask kids is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it's usually like basketball player. But I had a really cute kid in clinic last week. I'm like, what do you want? She was 4. She was coming in for her 4-year checkup. I'm like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she said, I want to be 5. I'm like, so cute, so cute, so cute. I love my kids. I love their stories. And once again, it's about being grounded in people. So as you spend the upcoming years on the front lines, do not forget to every day ground yourself. My work and your work, our work, is about people. Remind yourself why you chose the field of social work, why you went to school for so long and worked so hard, why you wake up in the morning. It's not about the power or the paycheck or the prestige. It's about the people that once again we are privileged to serve. So it took a while, but finally our stories and our science and our persistence, our teamwork helped uncover the crisis. And since then, we have been on a path towards recovery, turning crisis into opportunity. And I can spend hours talking about all the awesome that we've been able to put into place. But I just want to share, and I want to reiterate to all of you how important it has been working shoulder to shoulder with our social work colleagues. Our recovery would be impossible without our partnership with social workers. In the public health initiative I run, I have a director of community engagement that's a social work. She helps make sure that all our work is done in a very community-partnered, community-informed way. We have social workers in our clinic that I consult every single day, multiple times a day, to address all those social determinants of health. And we have a legion of social workers in our community helping families get connected to so many critical resources. So thank you. Sleeves rolled up. All of us together have been working around the clock to mitigate the impact of my crisis, our crisis. But our collective work in Flint has not just been about Flint, but it's been about kids and communities everywhere poisoned by inequities, poisoned by the histories and hierarchies that manifest as if their lives don't matter. And that's why my story is your story. It's about all of us, and it's about who we want to be. As much as what happened in Flint is a story of a crime committed with indifference against some of the most vulnerable people in our country, it's also this playbook of hope and resistance. It's about challenging the status quo and making the world better. And that's why, once again, I am here with you today to remind you that it only takes one person to do the hard thing, one person to stand up for what's right, one person to advocate for a more just world. Somewhere, somehow, sometime in your life after graduating, you will have to make a choice. And it will be an important choice. And the world will once again need you to lean into that strength and determination that brought you to this moment today. You can choose to stay silent. You can decide to just go with the flow. You know, that might be the easiest choice for you, socially, economically, politically. However, as a social worker, as a graduate of this fine institution, as a civically engaged and moral human being, I know you will choose the right path. The issue may not be as momentous as the poisoning of a town, but you know, there are Flints everywhere. There are injustices everywhere. And no matter how big or how small, there are places and people that will need you to be the one person that keeps their eyes open, takes action, and does the hard and scary thing. So I'm going to ask you all a question now. This is like their last assignment. Is that okay, Dean Angel? One more assignment, okay? One more thing to turn in, okay. Will you be that one person? Yes. All right, I can't hear you. Did you guys hear him over here? Not really. Come on, will you be that one person? Yes. Awesome, good. I think they passed. They can totally graduate now. But did you all hear the power in their collective voices? You are more than one person. Together, you are a force for change, a movement for good, a drumbeat for hope. And that is exactly what we need right now. Because it is in these glimmers of hope that the impossible becomes possible. And we have a lot of impossible things that we need to make possible. A lot of hard things that still need solving, like eliminating poverty. All right, you guys ready for this one? Are you gonna work to eliminate poverty? Yes. Will you work to eradicate racism? Yes. Will you work to narrow inequality? Yes. Will you work to preserve our fragile democracy? Yes. And will you work to protect women's rights? Yes. Yeah, awesome. Woo. You know, sometimes hope is the hardest thing to find. But being here today, all I see is hope everywhere, in every single one of you. You are the hope that we send out into the world. Remember, today is not the finish line. It's only the beginning. Tomorrow, you will all open fresh books with blank pages, and you get to decide how to fill them. Write a good story. I can't wait to read it. Congratulations, grads.
Thank you, Dr. Mona. We began to call her Dr. Mona behind the stage. So thank you, Dr. Mona, for this wonderful message, for sharing your story with us, for reminding us to be the one person to do the hard and scary thing, and adding thought and inspiration to this day of celebration. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our first student speaker, Audrey Montgomery. Audrey Montgomery is a global social work and community change dual pathway Master of Social Work candidate. She is an Ohio native and received her bachelor's in social work with minors in human rights and women's, gender, and sexuality studies from The Ohio State University in 2020. She identifies as an international social worker, activist, knowledge seeker, and coffee enthusiast. Throughout her undergraduate studies, Audrey developed a deep passion for seeking to better understand and address the unique needs for our refugee immigrant populations through her involvement with multiple resettlement organizations in Columbus, Ohio. Upon continuing her education at the University of Michigan, she works with refugee and immigrant spaces in her fieldwork and is engaged in research utilizing community-based participatory approaches to build relationships with several refugee-led organizations across Michigan. As a current fellow for the Center of Disability, Health and Wellness at Michigan Medicine, she is also interested in exploring the impact of disability across intersecting marginalized identities. Beyond graduation, Audrey plans to return to Ohio and continuously elevate her knowledge and skills to better work alongside refugee and immigrant communities. Regardless of any career and/or academic roles she may explore moving forward, she is dedicated to relentlessly advocating for justice and equity for all. Please welcome Audrey to the podium.
Wow, thank you so much. It's surreal to be standing on this stage, and an absolute honor and privilege. Good morning, everyone. I think I could use it if you all would join me. Let's all take one big breath in and one breath out. I want to start by inviting and thanking you all for joining together as we take the next few minutes to recall and reflect on the unimaginable year-long journey that brought all of us here today. It's 8 a.m., December of 2021, the end of my first semester in the MSW program. I'm logged onto Zoom for the last session of my Power in a Global Context class, and everything about this scene is not how I imagined I was wrapping up my first semester. For one, I'm in a virtual class, however, it is 2021. Two, I'm sitting at the counter of my family kitchen in Kentucky after recently making the difficult yet necessary decision to move back temporarily to be there for my mother and best friend who had begun a new medical treatment. And also, while I would have denied it at the time, I went home to focus and heal from some of my own mental health challenges. Third and lastly, I remember my coffee not tasting great, which, if you know anything about me, is quite honestly devastating. Looking back at this time, I had myself and everyone else convinced, or so I thought, that I had it all together. I was loving classes, deeply involved in my field work, started a new research position, had a part-time job, and was starting to build and hopefully maintain a social life among my new University of Michigan community. Within hours of returning home, reality hit. On the side of my bad cup of coffee, I was struggling with feelings of hopelessness, exhaustion, the need to be perfect, and for the first time in my life, a pressing uncertainty about what the future held. That day's class, however, was exactly what I needed. We had the unique opportunity to engage in a workshop hosted by guest speakers Lavan Kafafian, an Armenian-American weaver, and Lebanese-American poet Camelia Youssef on Habibi futurism. Translated literally from Arabic, Habibi means my beloved one. It's a word like language and this workshop itself, full of nuance. It refers to connection, relationality, kinship, love. The workshop drew from various art, literature, design, and activism, invoking reflection on society's past and present, and fostered a space to encourage us to independently and collectively reimagine the future. I was reminded it was okay to be fearful and uncertain about the future, but that there's also hope and joy that can be found in the endless possibilities. This, I remember thinking at the time, this is uncomfortable and vulnerable, but this is social work. Fast forward to the end of semester 2 out of 3, where I did the unimaginable and I returned to Ann Arbor. I'm sitting in my final session of a class focused on the politics of immigration, where I hear guest speaker Dr. William Lopez profess the words, quote, "It is always critically important never to let the perceived limit of our imaginations stop the work that we are doing. People shouldn't be suffering because we can't imagine something different," end quote. Again, I think to myself, this is social work. It's now the conclusion of semester 3 out of 3, and in my wildest imaginations, boy, I never thought I would be here today. Upon reflection, the unimaginable would never have happened without my Habibi, my beloved one and ones, coffee included, of course. To radically reimagine is a skill that we often are not taught to grow and develop in school. Yet change and progress, which we, particularly as social workers, seek, is impossible without it. If it weren't for radically reimagining, we may still exist in an economy that believes it is reliant on slavery, an education system reserved only for those who are white and male, or even just a world that does not recognize that there are certain fundamental rights we should have as humans. Yet if these past 3 semesters spent critically delving into the many injustices society's systems currently uphold and perpetuate, or honestly just scrolling through social media in the morning, I think that we all know that there is much work and thus radically reimagining to be done. So, my fellow MSW graduates, friends, we did what I thought, and maybe you did too, even for just a moment along the way, the unimaginable. I hope we don't stop here. Use the privileged knowledge that we gained here and that we will continue to gain as we move forward, and keep reimagining. Maybe start small. Reimagine the impact of your morning cup of coffee. Reimagine how we intervene or communicate with a client or community. But let's also go big. Let's reimagine a world without borders, a world without incarceration, a world with healthcare for all, a world that prioritizes climate justice. Reimagine accessibility. Reimagine reparations for indigenous populations. I could go on. Regardless, let's reimagine, collaborate, organize, and forge ahead. I'm a visual learner and person, and when I think of radically reimagining, I tend to picture a butterfly. Let's be honest, the cycle of a caterpillar forming a cocoon to then become a butterfly is about as radical and unimaginable as it gets. Artist and master reimaginer Frida Kahlo herself once said, "Feet, what do I need you for when I have wings to fly?" And while it may sound cliche, today, let's embrace our inner caterpillars, lean into our imaginations, spread our wings, and soar. I leave you all today with a poem that I wrote in that final activity of the Habibi Futurism workshop. We were given 7 minutes at the end to intentionally reflect. The way in which we were to do so was entirely up to us. I really don't know why I chose to write a poem during this time, as someone who has only ever done so probably for school assignments. However, reading it now gives me, and hopefully you, the reminder to, alongside your morning cup of coffee, begin every day reimagining a more just, liberated, equitable world. and let it fuel us to be the radical change makers that I am confident that we are. While the poem is the same, it was recently retitled to A Fixer-Upper, which appropriately is the name of my mother's favorite HGTV show that was likely playing in the background as I wrote it. A house. Above the windowsill hangs the map. Little Sprout rests below. Once a pile of dirt, full of potential, in need of water. Now a sprout, a bud, inching toward the map. Is it too late? Is the seed soiled? Will it reach? Should it? A caterpillar finds its home among the wilted sprout. A cocoon of love. A sunflower blooms. Among the weeds hangs a new world, rooted, radical, hopeful. Stems replacing the border, connected and strong, yet liberated. The butterfly is alive, heals and guides and revolutionizes. It knows no bounds. The window is cracked. The breeze spreads the seeds. The butterfly follows. At last, an abundance of little sprouts, a field of sunflowers. You are all welcome here, our home. Congratulations, graduates, my beloved ones, in solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey, for your wonderful contribution to our ceremony, reminding us to get up every day, to drink coffee, which I agree is really important, and to reimagine the world that we want to build. And now, I'm pleased to introduce our second student speaker, Moise Moquet. Moise Moquet graduated summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Social Work and a minor in Sociology from Central Connecticut State University. Some of Moise's undergraduate human services experiences include serving as a peer counselor in a college addiction and suicide prevention program, a community fundraising volunteer with United Way, an intern with a high school social worker, and a community engagement intern with Community Movement Builders of Detroit. Moise's experience as a refugee, coupled with his passion for working with youth and their families, has motivated him to eventually become a refugee mental health service provider and refugee organizer. Moise plans to eventually pursue a PhD, start a school, and create a scholarship fund to help low-income students overcome the cost barrier to pursuing higher education. Please join me in welcoming Moise to the podium.
Thank you. I want to welcome everyone to the summer commencement ceremony for the Michigan School of Social Work, class of 2022. Graduates, this is where all our hard work, sleepless nights, and unique journeys get rewarded. Today is indeed a great celebration. On this day of great rejoicing, I want to take a few moments to impart some words of encouragement as we go forth with our social work knowledge into the various sectors of our society. I promise I'm not going to be presenting on CBT, tenets of community organizing, or how to run a political campaign. Just going to share a few words of inspiration with all of you. First, I want us to remember our time in this program, and more importantly, the people we met in the program. See, we are the future clinicians, community organizers, politicians, advocates, and many other things. Let's do our utmost to maintain the connections we have made in the program. And as social change agents, we know that change never happens alone. It takes all of us working in all different sectors of our society to bring about a more just and equitable society for all of us. So let's use our relationships to advocate and help to create the change that the world needs. And yes, our world does need changing. Secondly, Don't allow the possibility of failure to stop you from utilizing your creativity to create something that doesn't currently exist. I'm sure that many of you at one point in your academic journey have heard the phrase, make sure you have something to fall back on. See, when I was an undergraduate student, my fallback plan was to become a plumber. I went to a trade school for high school, and I always kept that option in the back of my mind if school didn't work out for me. But do you know what a backup plan can do for you? It can actually become a handcuff that keeps you from fully moving forward in whatever you are pursuing. And so we will all fail at one point in our career. So I urge all of you to not be so afraid of failure that you refuse to take a risk. When you fail at something, instead of falling back, I urge all of you to fall forward. Utilize any failure as a springboard to launch forward into a new journey or a new path. You will realize that each failure will bring you closer to your purpose. And if you don't believe me, here's an example of the power of not giving up. Did you know that Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 experiments before he successfully invented the light bulb on the 1,001st attempt? See, that's the power of commitment. And I urge all of you, and especially us graduates, to embody that commitment in whatever your passion is. Thirdly, don't allow your job description to put limits on the impact you envision yourself making. Theologian Howard Thurman stated, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go and do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So don't focus on finding that perfect job description, because it might not exist. Instead, use your skills, your knowledge, and your faith to make your passion a living thing. Once you've accomplished that, you will give the world exactly what it needs from you. Therefore, as we go forth from commencement, may we make it our obligation to come alive and help create conditions that will allow other humans to come alive and live out their potential and purpose. Class of 2022, let's go forth and change our worlds for the better.
Thank you, Moise, for inspiring us with your wonderful message to stay grounded in community and to stay grounded in commitment. Graduates, this is the moment you've been waiting for. At this time, I would like to present the newest University of Michigan School of Social Work graduating class of summer 2022. So we will begin the individual presentation and hooding of our Master of Social Work graduates. Would the marshals, readers, hooders, and Alumni Board of Governors representative please take their places as we begin the presentation of the graduates. Graduates, as you join me across the stage, I am happy to present you with a congratulatory gift from the school, a UM business card holder with which to begin your professional life. We also have some graduates who are celebrating with us online today, and their photo will be shown on the screen as their names are read.
Audrey Montgomery. Moise Moquet. Iman Al-Kazim. Allison Elk-Iyer. Cherie Antonow. Chelsea Arlington. Hey, how you doing? Brittany Barrows, Master of Social Work and Master of Public Policy. How you doing? Congratulations. Aaron Nathaniel Bernard. Mariah Binford. Nicole Barrett. Claire Beitler. Jacob Blevins. Megan Boyd. Caitlin Bronstein. Amari Brown. Sarah Ann Buddha. Constance McKizzy Bernberger. Marie Keller Burke. Madison Busher. Hallie Booterer. Shelby Cahill. Brianna Carpenter. Sally Cedarberg. Brooke Chapman. Paul Martin Chase. Alyssa Cisneros. Riaz Clark. Danielle Hannah Cohn. Callista Coulter. Abigail Dom. Sarah Dykstra. Devin Matthew Eagle. All right. Lily Eggers. Becca Emmerich. Elizabeth Estes. Paris Lynn Free. Aziza Ghanem. Kendra Gett. Isabella Ginsberg. Maria Gomez. Sarah Elizabeth Grod Nielsen. Congratulations. Spencer Hall. Kenneth Harrington. Bree Jackson. Catherine Yeager. Aisha Yasharovich. Coriel Johnson Jr. Malaysia Shani Johnson. Evelyn Cameron. Kaylee Kareen Kina. Julia Kirby. Michael Clark. Mackenzie Regan Leatherman. Areem Lee. Jenna Liu. Hey there. Madeline Loss.
Derek McFarland. Derek Martinez. Jessica Ann McCain. Dalton Meister. Sarah Mallendorf. Christina Miller. Ashley Minter. Elizabeth Moak. Aaron Moore. Amber Lynn Morgan. Daniela Munoz. Reagan Nabozny. Grace Nodler. Sophia Ortiz. Brenda Osachi. Yes. Chelsea Parker. Harrison Parker. Allison Dawn Paris. Jessica Penhale. Kayla Pentecost. Elizabeth Pixley Fink. Congratulations. Sophia Pelker. Kira Reed. Emily Jacqueline Reinhardt. Yes. Hi. Amanda Lynn Riggs. Julia Rogers. Micah Rolland. Alyssa Romack. Kate Raylars Dam. Samantha Lynn Schuber. Heidi Schleff. Joseph Sudo. No, there's somebody I missed. Kathleen Scola. Yang Shichang. Morgan Simpson. Leah Singman. Journey Stockton. Is this Ashley? Ashley Strassler. Strassler? Ashley Strassler. Zenon Tao. Kelly Tehan. Madeline Tebow. Allison Userick. Vanessa Wandell. Gabrielle Watts. Marie White. Anne Wyhoit. Cindy Wilmshurst. There. Hannah Wilson. Michael Wing. Kim Wisser. Brianna Danielle Woods Iskandon. Anthony Yerkes. Young N. Yuk. Youngzi Yu. And for our graduates joining us remotely, Melody Fakure. Kate Fernando. Kat Fernando. Kat Fernando. Francian Jefferson. Grace Park. Tonya Wells. And Brandon Wollestone.
Okay. I now invite the MSW class of 2022 to please stand. On behalf of the University of Michigan Board of Regents, I confer upon you the Master of Social Work degree. (2022) graduates, please move your tassels. If you've not already done so, please move your tassels from the right to the left side of your caps. As a symbolic gesture that you are now alumni of the University of Michigan. Go Blue! Just a couple more things to say. Graduates, please be seated. Just a couple more things that stand between you and your celebration. I would be remiss if I did not remind you, graduates, that graduation does not mark the end of your time with the University of Michigan School of Social Work. And as alumni, we hope you will stay connected and engaged through the numerous social and professional opportunities offered by the school's Office of Development and Alumni Relations. And now we have something really, really important to do. Graduates, it's your turn to thank your family and friends, those people who stood by and supported you as you achieved your educational goals. Families and friends' support and encouragement make the great accomplishments of our students possible. I would like to invite the family members of friends in attendance to please stand and be recognized. Graduates, family members, and friends, a great ceremony like this does not come together without the help of many faculty, students, and staff. And so please join me in a round of applause for today's organizers. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the school, I would like to thank all of you for attending, and I would like to extend congratulations from the University of Michigan School of Social Work to our graduates. We hope that you will join us for a reception in honor of our graduates at the School of Social Work immediately following this ceremony. Now, we ask that our guests remain seated until the recessional march of the platform party and the graduates has been completed. Please have a safe trip home after the reception and enjoy this incredibly special day. Please feel free to join us in singing Hail to the Victors as we close today's ceremony. Go Blue!